Firefighters want the chief himself to take harassment complaints more seriously. KXAN's Jacqulyn Powell explains the changes AFD is making to address racial or sexual harassment complaints and why union leaders say it's not enough.
Just like we need to be held to a higher standard as firefighters, the fire chief needs to be held to a higher standard too.
Austin's Firefighters Union President Bob Nix sat beside one fire captain as she explained to the city's Public Safety Commission why she feels AFD leaders failed her when she reported harassing, sexist comments by a fellow captain.
Saying that I should be doing the cleaning because the women are supposed to do the cleaning, and telling the other guys that were still in the room at the time that the next day I was going to be teaching them all a class between two very degrading words that are used towards women.
Captain Christine Jones says Chief Baker only made the other captain take one day off the job.
He said it was not harassment, it was not a hostile work environment, and characterized it as horseplay among coworkers.
Chief Baker said he can't talk about the specifics of the case, but does regret using the word horseplay.
There's a lot of pretexts to different sort of harassment discrimination, and the people that are targets of those understand those very well. But sometimes the people sitting in judgment don't.
So after hearing Jones's story, public safety commissioners recommended City Council consider a few changes. They say someone who files a complaint should have a union representative with them and then have a supervisor of the same sex or race present in all hearings. Commissioners also say the person reporting harassment should be able to give a verbal statement in front of AFD's executive staff rather than just a written one.
We have a provision that says the perpetrator does need to address the chain of command. We think it's important to be able to tell your story firsthand. It's just as important to the target of harassment.
Nick says the union has been asking Fire Chief Joel Baker to make these changes for a while now. When I asked AFD today, the chief sent me a statement saying that the fire department is reworking its harassment policy to allow employees to report harassment to other departments outside of the chain of command, like the city's HR department or the city auditor's office, or even anonymously. And AFD will also use a third party to investigate any sexual harassment cases. The city still needs to approve those changes, and AFD plans to provide extra harassment training for employees next year. But keep in mind, this has all been in the works for a while, and there isn't a set date for when the Public Safety Commission's additional recommendations will make it onto the council's agenda. Sydney?
All right, Jacqulyn, thank you. A former Austin public health employee accused of misusing city resources resigned. Janetta Lindsay was a patient representative at Austin Public Health's tuberculosis clinic. The city auditor's office says that she created a fake job offer with a higher salary to use as proof of income for an apartment rental. Auditors say she worked for APH from June 2018 to March of this year, and they found more than 1,700 web browser hits related to apartment searches and more than 3,900 web browser hits to her personal email account.